Happy Friday. Has been a very hot week here in Georgia. I hope that you guys are managing your summer wherever you may be. It's like brutally hot, but we are in the thick of it. I love summer. Wanted to do part three today of minding your mind and wanted to share with you about the superpower that we all have. And I have just recently started tapping into. I think it's absolutely fascinating. I've always been kind of drawn to things that apply to our brains and the way that they work. But today I wanted to share with you some information about something that we all have and I believe is an untapped superpower. So yes, we are we are superhumans and our brain is absolutely amazing. So I wanted to share with you something that you may or may not know about. It's called the RAS in your brain. That's the reticular activating system. And that is a part in your brain. It's right at the base or the top of your spine. It's about 2 inches long and it's about the width of a pencil. And it acts as a filter of sorts. And I think this is just so interesting. So, what it does is it kind of magnifies the things that we want to happen. Think of it like your subconscious is working with your conscious part of your brain. And I have found this to be true. And I've kind of tested it in a couple of ways and wanted to share this with you about how we can harness the power of this. So, for example, there is a car that that I'm kind of got my eyes on, and I didn't know much about it, but I did a little research, and I didn't think previously that I'd seen a bunch of them on the roads because I wanted to see more of them. And then once I started doing some research and started kind of putting that on my map as something that I'd like sometime in the near future, I see them everywhere. This particular car is on the road. Every time I turn a corner, I see one. It's there. And before I actually put that on my radar, I didn't really recognize where those cars were. So that is an example of my RAS kind of putting into action. That is kind of like a superpower. And when we're talking about mindset, when I've shared with you this month about harnessing the power of your mind, this comes in particularly um, well when you are trying to make some positive changes. So, if you are, I'm going to give a negative example of how your RAS or your filter works. Let's say, for example, you think that you're a crappy Facebook Live person. You will, and your mind will find every possible example when you have that negative talk to justify that. So I don't have views. Nobody's watching. See a big zero right now. um, you don't have comments. You don't look good on camera. Whatever that is, your mind is going to look for and seek out all of those examples to make your what you think is true to be true. So it's kind of like finding the evidence, that filter. It's kind of like a magnifying glass. It looks for it and it latches onto it. It's the same thing that happens when you are maybe in a crowded room and you just hear a bunch of muttered words. But when somebody calls your name, you are pinpointed to that and it gets your mind to pay attention to that. That's your RAS in action. So, again, I wanted to share that with you because you can use it to your benefit and you can also maybe think about it in terms of if you're in a negative mind space, maybe it's because you've got some negative self-talk going on and your RAS is filtering out anything but those negative thoughts. So I just wanted to share that with you. It's very, very powerful. So, what can you do to kind of harness this for the positive? It's going to take some time. It's going to take some practice. So I would recommend if you've never done this kind of work, start with something simple. And I did this last week and it was really fantastic. So for example, I wanted to see this at work. Like I tried it with the car thing. It worked with that. Another thing that I tried was looking for hearts anywhere. Just looking and being more in tune to finding those in the environment. So I found one in a rock. the shape of a heart. I found some in like some doodles, some drawings. I saw a heart in the cloud, because I turned that message in my brain that I'm going to look for those hearts. And so my brain is like actively seeking out, using all my senses to find those hearts in the environments. That's a really good way to practice. It could be anything, it could be any shape. It could be positive affirmations. It could be trying to, maybe you've got a big decision to make and you're trying to look for signs as to which way to go. Latch onto that and think of it for the positive. Something else that you can do, and this is something that I'm pretty keen on, and that is defining what you're grateful for. And that can be done first thing in the morning when you wake up, or it can be done late at night in the evening when you're resting your head at the end of the day. But what you do is you think of, let's say, three things that you're super grateful for. So it could be something as simple as maybe there was an event that you went to and you were really grateful for that. Or maybe it's a person in your life that you're really grateful for. But the more specific you can be with this, the better it's going to be for your RAS to kind of filter out some of that positive. It could be your own character traits. And this one is probably the most powerful. So I know I've been doing, I'm going to share this with you guys next week, doing a high five in the mirror every day that I wake up. And it's very hard for me, which tells me I need a lot more practice with that. So it's just the simple act of giving yourself a high five. And I'll go into detail next week. But I do that, and then I think of some of my positive character traits. And then guess what? During the day, my RAS is tuned into finding examples of to support that belief and that idea, because those beliefs are what drives our actions and influence our actions. So it's super powerful. It actually, I think it is like a superpower for us. Some other things you can think of to be grateful are just successes that you have. There's always something in your day that you can be grateful for. And when you find those, guess what happens during the day? You start looking for, your RAS starts looking for those positive things to kind of build that up and to build that case for you. So that is your superpower, your RAS. We all have them. They are all working. They're either working to your advantage or to your disadvantage. And it's how you're using it that's going to influence how you move throughout your next day. So, share with me ideas that you've got on that. I got a lot of my information from medium.com. There's a ton of information, a lot of research out there about your RAS. It is absolutely fascinating. I encourage you to go and do your own research about it. Try it out. Message me. Let me know what's going on and how you've tried it. I would love to hear that. And I am doing that same thing today. I'm working on my RAS for some positive vibes. So, hope you guys are well. I look forward to sharing with you some more specific tips to help you get your mindset working for you instead of against you. And have a fantastic weekend, and happy Father's Day, fathers, for all you guys out there. Take care, guys.